Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrecht and Tommy Kester.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome into Sports Daily on a Friday. Tommy Kester and Paul Savage in for Jacob Albrecht as we get you ready for the weekend on this beautiful Friday morning. Thank you so much for joining us along today. It's a busy show on tap. We're going to talk a little bit about the KU football victory last night in their opener against Lindenwood, a pretty dominant victory. We'll recap all of that and talk about if we saw what we needed to see from the Jayhawks in their opener. The Royals lose on the road in the opening game against Houston last night. And for the first time this season, it's officially football season. We've got our Friday football picks that will be coming up at the top of hour number 2. Myself, Paul Savage, Jacob Albrecht will be joining us in hour number 2, along with Brandon Zinner and TJ Cleland from 12 News. It's going to be a lot of fun as we do our picks throughout the course of this season, and that will be how we kick off hour number 2 today. Of course, you can listen throughout the entire show right here on KFH on the Odyssey app. If you need to go back and listen to any of the program, or if you can't catch the show live and you want to go back and listen later, you can always listen to the show in podcast form also on the Odyssey app. And also you can watch our video streaming live on social media, Facebook, X, also on YouTube and on 12 News Connected. That IHOP hotline is open all morning long at 869-1240. Jad Chambers is manning that hotline. We got all that out of the way. Paul, good morning. Happy Friday.
Well, same to you. It's going to be a great day. And by the way, I'm still working on getting you to be a Hawaiian shirt guy. Be a real man, Tommy. Come on. It's time you grow up and be a man.
It's not Wednesday. So, I mean, isn't it Hawaiian shirt Wednesday? Isn't that what you guys are doing?
That's what it is.
Yeah,
but I'm just working. I got to work on you. It's going to be gradual. I can see that. Come on, you can join in. Have a little fun, would you please?
You know, it's not about. I'm a fun-loving guy. I believe I'm a fun-loving guy. I like life. I like doing things that are fun.
You do. That's why I can't believe this.
I'm still not at the point, though, in my life where I feel like wearing Hawaiian shirts is that much fun.
Fair enough. I won't work too hard on you, but anyway, it's a fun. I'm waiting for you to find our sponsor. We're gonna, I have confidence.
Should I call up Tommy Bahama and see if they would be willing to?
Let's talk after the show.
Sponsor Hawaiian Shirt Wednesdays.
We'll talk after the show.
You know, it's one of those things that is, probably it'll end up being so bad that it's good. You know, like
I thought of it that way.
It's probably a little endearing, and so I get it. I'll be honest. I was really resistant to Hawaiian Shirt Wednesdays when it first came around because I want us to be cutting edge and innovative and hip and all of that. And a Hawaiian shirt is none of those things.
Oh my gosh.
But you know what? If we're going to be intentionally ironic, then I guess I can get on board with that.
Hey, look, Jake, look at me and Jacob. Come on. This is what you got to work with, man.
I know.
You got to deal with it. Come on.
And look, I saw, the Hawaiian shirts that the two of you were wearing on Wednesday.
Looking, weren't they?
How many do you own?
15 maybe.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Are they all tropical themed?
Yeah, well, most of them.
Palm trees.
Yeah. Well, no, some of them are more, just designs, out there designs, colorful, that are colorful, that kind of thing. Yeah, but there's a lot of palm trees in my shirts. Yes, that is true.
Do you have any of those Hawaiian shirts that they depict a scene? Like it's like the beach where you can it's literally you can see the water and the sand and the palm trees, and it's like basically a painting, but on your shirt.
Yeah. I even have an Hawaiian shirt theme that says that is basically that says the beginning of our Constitution, we the people type deal. So I have different themes. I'll tell you what, I've got a couple of them that are too tight on me. They'll fit you. What if I brought you? What do you mean, man? And they're like brand new. I'll tell you what.
Sure.
What if I brought you in one?
I mean, that's a fashion statement. I would be making a fashion statement if I wore your old Hawaiian shirts.
And then on Wednesdays, when you come do your meeting here with the staff,
I'll
tell you what, you'll make quite a statement if you wear a Hawaiian shirt into your staff meetings. You're making a statement to those people. Yes, I'm free and independent. Yes, we're going to be a good sales staff. Yes. Odyssey Radio is a great place to work.
Does that inspire confidence?
I don't
do you
know.
think?
I don't know.
Does it foster a sense of collaboration?
I'm not sure, but
I don't know.
Anyway,
it might be worth a try.
Anyway,
I'll consider that. Hey, football season's back.
Oh boy.
Did you get into it last night? Did you watch the opening games? I'm sure you did.
What do you think?
Yeah.
By the way, I know we're going to get into a little bit about Colorado. After all, we've got prime time. Anytime prime time, correct me if I'm wrong, but anytime we got prime time involved in broadcasts, you're going to kind of pay attention, aren't you? I mean, we're just going to, and we'll get into that whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
You just pull the trigger on Colorado and North Dakota State, which I thought, or was it South Dakota?
It was North Dakota State.
I get I'm telling you right now, I get my Dakotas mixed up. But anyway, North Dakota State, and it was a good game. I'll tell you what, North Dakota State, if they were in the Big 12, they'd be about in the middle of the pack. That's not a bad football team.
Well, North Dakota State has been an FCS powerhouse for a long time. Of course, the connection there with Chris Kleiman, built them into a powerhouse, right? And they were coming off a not great season to their standards a year ago, finishing 11-4, and that's a great season for them according to their standards. But no, I mean they are one of, if not the best teams in the FCS division. So they definitely gave Prime and Colorado a run for their money last night. We'll get into that a little bit later on in the program. KU, though, they open things up. It's a home game, but it's not a home game because they're playing away from Lawrence this one season, of course, kicking off the year at Children's Mercy Park in Kansas City. But they play Lindenwood. It was a dominant 48-3 victory for the Jayhawks. It was a game, Paul, where we saw Jalen Daniels play the first half. We saw Devin Neal get into the end zone. I don't know, and I know you've been around the game of football for a long time. It was hard for me last night when that game was all said and done to really think about major takeaways from that game, considering just the mismatch in quality of opponent. And it's not a knock on Lindenwood. They're just in a different class of football than the Jayhawks are. As we look back on this game last night and Kansas moving to 1-0 on the season, do you think there are some solid takeaways from last night's game?
No takeaways from last night's game. Basically, it was a scrimmage. You got to remember, and I'm not taking anything away from Lindenwood, please. That is, if you went to Lindenwood and you're and you love the school, I don't mean this in any bad way, but at best, at one time they were an NAI school. They were a Division III school. Scholarships are limited even to this day. What's NIL at Lindenwood? It can't be much. I mean, so
a nickel maybe. I don't know.
Tommy, here's the thing. I'm glad to see KU get a win. I mean, we would really be breaking this game down if it was 21-23 and going into the final few minutes of the fourth quarter, we'd be breaking this game. What's going on? What's going on? But I don't know, Tommy. I'm sorry, but I don't know that there are any takeaways. This is what we expected. And if anything, maybe KU didn't score enough points to make me happy. I mean, 43 points is a lot of points, but come on, they
covered the number.
Well,
right, so that's I think an important note going into it. And that's
that number? What was that number?
I believe it last I saw before it was like 43 or 44.
Was it okay?
And they won by 45. I mean, it was a 48-3 victory.
That's right. Well, anyway, but the point is, Tommy, is that I don't know that we can take a lot away from this particular game because they weren't pushed. They weren't going to be pushed. A lot of players got time on the field, which is the way it should be. Yeah. Neither one of us ever like seeing an opponent score run up, particularly when, it was just like the Missouri and what was it? Murray State, I believe. Yeah. I mean, come on. If you just looked at the players on the field when they came to the line of scrimmage, you knew what was going to happen. I mean, there's not a lot to get out of it. I'll be real truthful, Tommy. I don't like seeing those kind of games. I don't like seeing a team play down. And of course, Alabama, who do they got? They've got some schmo, Joe
they played Temple, I think.
No,
is that not right?
No, that's not. Temple is Oklahoma.
That's right. I think Temple plays Oklahoma. Alabama Western Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Come on. Does that game interest you at all?
No.
So, I mean, in fairness, I know you love KU, but I mean, come on, Tommy. I mean, we just can't, you can't. I don't know what we take other than the fact that expectations were met. How's that? Is that pretty? That's not bad. The score was at least what you thought it would be close to. How's that? Is that fair enough? Because there's not anything else. anybody's particular performance, I don't think you can get much out of that.
It was good. I mean, there were a few things. I mean, number one, it was good to see Jalen Daniels back in action.
All right. Yeah.
You know, and he played the first half. I mentioned it. I mentioned it yesterday on the program that,
I got you.
You know, I didn't want anybody to be surprised or concerned. I think that's the key word, concerned.
Right.
If Jalen Daniels didn't play the whole game.
Right.
I didn't think that it would be an indication of anything health related. It would just be more of they got him some reps, they got him out on the field, and then they didn't need to risk any kind of injury by having him out in the second half in that game. Devin Neal.
That's good. That's right. That's exactly what I thought it would be too. Go ahead.
One of the strengths of this team will be the running back room this season. They're pretty stacked. On the depth chart at running back, Devin Neal, 112 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. So that was good to see. I do think here's a takeaway.
All right, please.
Here's a takeaway that I found from the game last night.
I'm ready.
There were too many turnovers from the Jayhawks, and especially early in the game. And I think that, you know, they jumped out on top early, but then there was a lull in scoring in the first quarter. Now they did enter halftime with a 34-0 lead, and that allowed Lance Leipold to bring in the backups, and we saw Cole Ballard the rest of the way. Ken on our video stream, by the way, said that he missed the game and asked how Cole Ballard looked. He looked fine, and he looked fine in the second half. You know, I hope that as much as I like Cole Ballard, and you know he had to be forced into action a little bit last season, I hope we don't have to see him this year. I hope that's, you know, maybe the last appearance that we have to see from Cole Ballard this year.
I know what you're saying. No, I get it.
But yeah, Ballard looked fine. I mean, I think he is a capable backup for Jalen Daniels if the worst happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, God forbid there's another injury that Daniels suffers this year. But let's be honest, Cole Ballard is not Jason Bean, and Jason Bean had really high highs and really low lows. I don't think that Cole Ballard can quite reach the ceiling that Jason Bean has. I mean, Bean is, you know, a guy that could be on an NFL roster, you know,
he just got cut, didn't he?
He could at least end up on a practice squad or something like that. You know,
that is true. No, that's correct.
So,
yes,
you know, I'm not sure that Cole Ballard necessarily has quite that high of a ceiling.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, Ballard was fine in the second half, but there were too many turnovers, Paul, from the Jayhawks. And when you're playing a team like Lindenwood, you know, you hope to have a clean game. You want to have a clean game because when you start facing opponents, and it starts next weekend, they go to Champaign, Illinois to take on the Illini. They've got to limit those turnovers, and it doesn't get any easier here on out. That was your cupcake game, and you were a little sloppy, you know, like that. And I think that's probably the message from Lance Leipold after the game is we executed pretty well for our first game. We had some rust that we had to shake off. We were a little sloppy. The turnovers were too many. We've got to get that cleaned up before next week.
Well, this was probably good in terms of, you know, you're not playing at home. I mean, you are playing at home. This is a home game, but you're not playing at home. You're not playing where you're used to playing. Your normal routine. A lot of these kids that have been at the University of Kansas, you know, that aren't new in the portal, you know, it's all new. It's all new. It's all different. So I'm just saying that, you know, there's a routine that has to be established, and that routine will also be with Kansas City. I mean, I'm talking about the Chiefs facility.
Yeah, Arrowhead.
And I'm talking about, you know, I think there's at least one more game here at the soccer field, and it's a nice venue. But I was asking Jed, I wasn't really sure what it seated. Jed said, didn't you say like 18, 20,000?
Yeah, 18.5.
Yeah,
18.5. And that's not home. That's not home. And it's a different feeling at home. You got to drive. What is it? Probably 45 minutes at least from Lawrence to where.
It depends on the traffic. I mean,
yeah, that's
you know,
right.
And you know, Children's Mercy is at least the closer part of the metro to Lawrence than you know Arrowhead would be. It's going to be a completely different.
It'll still be different though, Tommy.
Atmosphere from Children's Mercy to Arrowhead. And Jad, you and I were talking about this the other day, as far as the differences between those two facilities. And you know, even though neither one of them is home, you know, Children's Mercy, at least you can pretty much pack that place.
Yep.
And it can be overwhelmingly loud. Arrowhead is a loud venue, but you're not, I mean, the Jayhawks are not going to fill Arrowhead.
Yeah. I don't think they're probably not going to draw enough of a crowd to fill it and get it to be loud. Children's Mercy is loud if you have 7,000 people in it.
Right.
I mean, if you have 5,000 people in it, Children's Mercy can be pretty loud sometimes.
Yeah, they're right on the field too. I mean, that would be that kind of venue. By the way, you know, there's the possibility. Let's say KU does play well, plays up to expectation, maybe excels on expectations. You know, Tommy, you could get 60, 70,000 people to a KU game. I mean, if things fall into place, you know, to say that no, there's no chance of selling out. Now, probably they won't sell out every ticket. But I can
think about, by the way, back in the day, there was, you know, a couple of years where this was the case, where both KU and back then it was obviously the rivalry with Missouri. They played the border war at Arrowhead.
Oh, that's exactly right.
And the year that they were battling for a Big 12 championship and potentially a national championship run. I don't have the number in front of me of what attendance was, but I'm sure it was pretty packed inside Arrowhead. Now it's going to be a lot different, you know, moving forward, you know, for the Jayhawks. And this season, I think that, you know, you could get a good crowd. You could get a sizable crowd at Arrowhead, but it's going to be a different atmosphere altogether. You mentioned expectations, Paul, and we'll end this segment on this note.
All right.
You mentioned expectations in your mind for Kansas. What are your expectations? And you mentioned exceeding them. What would be exceeding expectations for you?
Well, for me, exceeding expectations is getting to the Final 12. The
getting in the playoff.
I mean, I guess that would be for everybody that's in one of the major.
And that's the expectation, is to get in. That's not exceeding expectations.
No, I'll tell you what. With all the hype, with everything that we know about, and of course the caveat of a healthy quarterback for KU. I mean, how important is that? I mean, I think we both agree that's maybe a make or break deal. I mean,
absolutely.
But I think KU's better. I've bought in to Coach Leipold. I have bought into what he's doing, what he's selling, how he's operating. I've bought into his techniques, what he does on the field, the little things. I bought in even if you know what to look for, even the little things. I like what he does. I really do, Tommy. Yeah. I'm not just throwing this at you because you're a KU hack. I'm throwing it at you. I'm throwing it at you because I honestly believe he's doing a great job. I bought in. I think the Big 12 is going to be incredibly difficult to win. That's what I think. We don't even realize how many really good teams are going to come out of this conference. And I don't think it's just Utah. I just don't think it's going to be them by themselves. I think you're going to have, and I'm not even sure who it is going to be that steps up.
There are multiple teams.
There's going to be multiple teams.
Kansas State should be there. Oklahoma State may be there.
There's a couple of
Arizona might be there.
And then throw in
West
the one.
Virginia might be there.
Then throw the one in that
Iowa
you're not
State
even.
Might be there.
Well, go ahead.
I mean, that's just there's so much.
You're right.
There's probably so much parity in this conference. And,
that's right.
It's going to be a dogfight to get to the very top of that conference.
More parity than the SEC.
Yeah, I mean,
because right now we kind of think Alabama, Georgia is probably it in the SEC. We can't say that about the Big 12, can we?
I think Texas and OU would probably have something to say in their first year in the SEC. But I mean, who knows? It's a brand new conference for them.
Get their butts kicked.
Yeah. Game one for the Jayhawks in the books. It's a dominating victory against Lindenwood. KU moves to 1-0. They're not the only in-state team kicking off this weekend. Kansas State kicks off their season in Manhattan tomorrow night against UT Martin. We'll talk about that game a little bit later on in the program. Let's set up our first contest of the show. If you'd like to win some free HTO, all you have to do is text the keyword T, that's TEA, to short code 20357. Each participant can enter once per day. Message and data rates apply. Good luck on that contest. We're going to step aside for our first time out of the day. It's Sports Daily on a Friday. Tommy Castor, Paul Savage. We'll be right back.
Colin Huck's Power Washing is like getting to the top of Mount Everest with only a bag of beef jerky and a soda. Huck's can conquer all residential or commercial exterior cleaning woes that you have, leaving you feeling like you're on top of the world. House washing, window cleaning, driveway washing, to even graffiti removal. Coming this fall, we'll offer professional holiday lights installation. We love muck and gunk. You don't. Let Huck's handle it. Call for a quote today.
Right. Start your day with 12 News this morning. Get ready with Jake's accurate hour-by-hour forecast, so you'll know if you need a jacket when you walk out the door or an umbrella by lunch. Start your day knowing what happened overnight and what's happening now. Live, breaking news all morning long. And plan the best route to work and school with traffic from across Kansas. Start your day right. Start your day with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSEW.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
At 12 News, we know you're busy, which is why we're here whenever you need us. Anytime, any screen. With live breaking news.
Critically hurt after an apartment.
Storm Team 12 forecast.
Snowing for many miles.
And the stories you don't want to miss.
The scene's still very active.
Just search KWCH 12 News wherever you stream and catch up on the latest news of the day. All for free and on your schedule, hopefully making your day a little bit easier. And did I mention the Storm Team 12 forecast? 12 News whenever you want.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Determining fact from fiction. That's our full-time job.
You need to have someone give you the whole story from every side.
To help you when no one else is listening.
You need someone to put you first.
That's what we do.
We bring you the facts first.
When you need it.
Wherever you are.
12 News. Facts first.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's a Friday edition of Sports Daily here on KFH. Tommy Castor, along with Paul Savage, filling in for Jacob Albrock today. Paul, look, I think that with the Royals here, we're going to switch gears a little bit, go from football to baseball.
All right, let's do it.
The Royals kick off their 4-game set on the road with Houston, and they drop that opening game of the series against the Astros. And I think that as we are looking at, where things stand for Kansas City, every game from here on out down the stretch is absolutely crucial for the Royals. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, I think you have to take stock a little bit of where this team is this week. And, just remember and recall they're in the middle of a grueling and grinding stretch of baseball. And I don't know about you. I was flipping back and forth last night between the Kansas game and the Royals game. To me, it just looks like this team is gassed. And I don't know if you get that same sort of feeling from the Royals. They played a lot of games this week against pretty top tier opponents. And that was kind of the indication I got last night.
Then how did the Royals win 3 out of 4 with Cleveland? I mean, I'm not sure. I get what you're saying. And at least in the last couple of games, it does look like that. 2 straight losses. I get that. A loss with Houston, a loss with the Indians on the final game of that 4-game set. So I'm with you. I see what you mean. But I'm not totally with you because did you I think if I was to say to you, Tommy, the Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah.
Are you okay with winning 3 out of 4?
Of course.
I think you would have.
Absolutely.
That's what I thought you would have said. So I don't know that's exactly a right term or a proper way to put it. But baseball has its ups and downs. Jacob tells me that all the time. Reminds me because, sometimes I look at baseball with a football mentality. I'm guilty of that. I understand I do that on occasion. But with the Kansas City Royals, just a few short days ago, they were tied for the division. Now they're a game and a half back, having lost 2 straight. And that's a little concerning. Am I going to panic? You and Tommy, you and Jacob have taught me I don't need to panic. This is baseball, so I don't panic. I'm not going to panic. This is just the way it's going to be. But, I am a little concerned about 2 straight losses. You don't want to see 3, I can tell you that.
For me, from last night, and this is what my concern was yesterday on this show, it's been pretty obvious how much the pitching staff has had to grind this week. I mean, going all the way back to the very beginning of the week with the Cleveland series and the issues with injuries and Cole Reagan's leaving a game and Michael Lorenzen going on the IL. The bullpen having to get a ton of work. I think it was extremely fortunate that Kansas City was able to get 3 or 4 from Cleveland. But my biggest concern, and I mentioned this yesterday on the show, my biggest concern is what happens if the lineup begins to look tired. And that's where I thought things were starting to move to last night. If you take a look at the middle of the lineup, I mean, all the way from Bobby Witt batting second all the way down to MJ Melendez, and he was the 7-hole hitter last night. No hits. No hits for Witt, no hits for Pasquantino, no hits for Perez, no hits for Fermin, DeYoung, Melendez. Michael Garcia had a good game. Kyle Isbell had a hit. Michael Massey had a hit. They had 4 hits, 3 runs on 4 hits.
4 hits.
That's concerning to me as we get into this weekend. The final 3 games of this series for the Royals is, man, you need the middle of that lineup to come through. And if they're going to be quiet, partially maybe because they're fatigued, man, that's not a good recipe for success.
Well, but everybody's fatigued at this point, and particularly and Houston. I mean, that's no slouch team. They're leading. Well, the last I looked yesterday or last night, they were leading to their division. So, I mean, this is a good baseball team. But with that being said, everybody's going to fight through this. It's the dog days of August. That's what they call this time. It's September. There'll be a little maybe Christmas in the air on a few places where you go play and that kind of thing. But I guess, I don't know what this is to be expected. We always see teams go through this. But the concern about last night was 4 hits. You're exactly right. You're exactly on target when you broke that down. 4 hits. You got to have better offense than 4 hits. And I'm with you on that. Is that fatigue? Probably. Yes, probably it is fatigue. So I'm with you on that, but I don't know that it's just one of those things about this game of baseball.
Yeah, and I think that even what's more concerning is we don't yet know the status injury-wise of Vinny Pasquantino and of Lucas Erceg. Both of those guys exited with injuries last night on the same play. Which, I mean, you couldn't probably have, outside of Salvi and Bobby Witt Jr. getting injured, you couldn't have two more impact players go down with injuries in the 8th inning
or
last night on the same play.
A couple of starters on the rotation. That would be
but that's happened this week. Cole Reagan's exited with an injury, and Michael Lorenzen's now on the IL. So, like there are some injury issues, and it's more than just feeling tired. It's also you've been a little bit unlucky when it comes to the injuries, at least this week. We don't know the status, and Matt Quatrero didn't really say much after the game last night. He said that both of them were getting X-rays, and at least I haven't seen anything yet, to give an indication about what's going on with that. The Royals did at one point get back into the game. I mean, they were able to make it a game, and then that 8th inning was just a disaster for the Royals. The Astros scored 4 runs in the 8th. It was just a grounder that Ursig tried to field with his bare hand. It was a wild throw to Pasquantino. Pasquantino was trying to catch the baseball, and he got his hand caught as Diaz for the Astros ran down the line. Both of them exited the game. That's significant. That's potentially significant in, not just the context of the ball game last night, but moving forward in this race. I'm trying to find a silver lining here. I guess the silver lining, Paul, is hopefully we're not talking about significant injuries for either one of these guys.
Well, I guess if there's a silver lining, is you're going into the bottom of the 8th, you're leading 3-2. Is that a silver lining? I mean, you're within 1 inning of getting this darn game over with a win, and you're up, and then you give up that 4 spot in the bottom of the 8th, and that kind of did it, didn't it? So
yeah.
I guess that's the bright spot for me is, you are in this game all the way through, right up until the last at bat for Houston.
On top of that, Ken brings up a really good point on our video stream. Brutal, the waste of quality start from Brady Singer. Singer, had been up and down the last 4 starts before last night, more down than up. He did have a 6-inning shutout going against the Reds a couple of weeks ago. But other than that, the ERA over the last 4 or 5 starts had been up over 6. He had a good outing last night. He gave up a couple of runs midway through the game against the Astros, but it was a quality start overall, and one of the better ones we'd seen as of late by Brady Singer. And that had been something, Paul, that had been a struggle for the Royals this week, getting longevity out of their starters where they could be effective long-term. And it was that finale against the Guardians where they had a chance to sweep the game or sweep the series against Cleveland. Michael Wacha was tired. They put him out there. Quatrero did in the 7th and got into trouble, and then everything kind of fell apart for the Royals. So you can definitely tell, and I know I keep using the word fatigue, but you can definitely tell that there are issues with potentially, I don't want to say depth, but they're grinding right now. They're grinding with the players that they have. You're watching these guys sort of drop like flies this week. And at one point, it was just literally 48 hours ago, Jacob and I were having the conversation about the Royals, were in first place in the AL Central by virtue of a tiebreaker with an opportunity to gain even more ground on the Guardians and sweep the series. They give up the lead and they don't sweep the Guardians on Wednesday. And then last night against the Astros, it's been a tough stretch.
But September's not even here yet, so there's still a lot of baseball to go. I don't know how much we can talk about the loss last night. Like we said previously, you're leading going into the 8th. They score 4. That's baseball for you.
Well, they need a day off badly, and they don't get one for another 6 days. They don't get another day off until Thursday. It doesn't get any easier, at least here in the short term, as the Royals will continue their series against the Astros tonight in Houston, and then they turn right around, Paul, and they go back home and they play the Guardians again.
There you go.
They play the Guardians again.
How's that for important baseball? Every game is mattering to the Royals for the next week or so.
There's no rest for the wicked. I think that's the saying, right?
That's it.
They've got to get right back into gear tonight, and I think expectation wise, we'll end on this note with the Royals. Expectation wise for them in this particular series is probably to salvage a split. That's kind of where I'm at right now. You've got to win 2 out of the next 3. You've got to try to not lose any more ground. I don't know. Is that kind of where you're thinking? Like they need to split this 4-game set?
Dang right. Every game counts right now. If you want to win a division and not play in the wild card, which I think everybody would want to do. I know everybody wants to do that, but yeah, you got to get these kind of wins, 2 out of 3, salvage a 2 out of 3 split with the Astros, and then go in and, maybe you're not going to sweep the Guardians, but you got to go in there and win your share and come out of this thing at least where you're right there with them. Then who knows what happens in the month of September.
I haven't yet seen, and maybe you've seen this somewhere, I haven't yet seen who's starting tonight.
I haven't even looked.
For both teams.
Well,
of course, Brady Singer pitched last night. I wonder how things, again, are going to shake out regarding the rotation and regarding some of those injuries that we've seen take place. Will the Royals need to call up, like a Alec Marsh to come back in and have him take this spot in the rotation? He pitched one of the games in the doubleheader on Monday, so he wouldn't pitch tonight. It would probably have to be one of the weekend games. I don't know if that's going to be on the table for the Royals or not. They've got some major decisions to make, I think, regarding injuries with that rotation. With the bullpen now, Lucas Erceg was your only, up to this point, mainly only consistent reliever. And then, of course, with Pasquantino. So a lot of major decisions. It's a tough time to be Matt Quatraro. He's made some major decisions this season. I'm not sure if there are any bigger ones, any bigger circumstances looming large for Kansas City than what they've dealt with over the last couple of days or so. It's been a brutal 72 hours or so for Kansas City. They've got to try to figure out a way to manage through that. It's going to be a tough test. Of course, we'll have the game tonight here on KFH as the Royals take on the Astros in Houston. We'll also have both games this weekend for the Royals as well. Saturday's game, tomorrow's game, by the way, just a little bit of a schedule change because we will have Kansas State football in the evening here on KFH. You'll be able to listen to the Royals at Houston on KNSS AM 1330, on KNSS FM 98.7 tomorrow night. Butler football kicks off against Northeast Oklahoma A&M. We'll run through that schedule again as we wrap up the program here. By the way, our baseball coverage here on KFH is presented by T-Mobile. Switch to T-Mobile and you can get tons of benefits and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Use their savings calculator to find out how at T-Mobile.com/switch. Don't forget, coming up at the top of hour number 2, we will have our very first Friday football picks of the season. Myself, Paul, Jacob Albrecht, Brandon Zinner, TJ Cleveland of 12 News will all join the program as we get into who we think will cover the spread this weekend in some of the major games going on in college football. That's how we kick off hour number 2. On the other side, let's talk a little bit about Colorado, Paul. They were in action last night as they kick off year number 2 in the Coach Prime era for the Buffaloes. That and a whole lot more. It's on the way next on Sports Daily.
Colin Huck's power washing is like getting to the top of Mount Everest with only a bag of beef jerky and a soda. Huck's can conquer all residential or commercial exterior cleaning woes that you have, leaving you feeling like you're on top of the world. House washing, window cleaning, driveway washing, to even graffiti removal. Coming this fall, we'll offer professional holiday lights installation. We love muck and gunk. You don't. Let Huck's handle it. Call for a quote today.
Right. Start your day with 12 News this morning. Get ready with Jake's accurate hour-by-hour forecast, so you'll know if you need a jacket when you walk out the door, or an umbrella by lunch. Start your day knowing what happened overnight and what's happening now. Live, breaking news all morning long. And plan the best route to work and school with traffic from across Kansas. Start your day right. Start your day with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSEW.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea Be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
At 12 News, we know you're busy, which is why we're here whenever you need us. Anytime, any screen. With live breaking news.
Critically hurt after an apartment.
Storm Team 12 forecast.
Snowing for many miles.
And the stories you don't want to miss.
The scene's still very active.
Just search KWCH 12 News wherever you stream and catch up on the latest news of the day. All for free and on your schedule, hopefully making your day a little bit easier. And did I mention the Storm Team 12 forecast? 12 News whenever you want.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Determining fact from fiction. That's our full-time job.
You need to have someone give you the whole story from every side.
To help you when no one else is listening.
You need someone to put you first.
That's what we do.
We bring you the facts first.
When you need it.
Wherever you are.
12 News. Facts first.
This portion of Sports Daily brought to you by Prairie Fire Coffee. Every morning we enjoy a great cup of coffee from Prairie Fire Coffee. I want to thank them. We were all in line getting coffee here earlier.
I know. I was standing behind Jad, and Jad takes so long. He dolls up his coffee with this, then he puts that in, then he's got to stir it, put something else in, stir it again. Oh my God, he's a handful at the coffee bar.
It was funny though, because I think Jad was in line first, and you were behind him, and I was standing behind you. Like during the break, we were all ready to go for some Prairie Fire Coffee. So big thanks to them.
Liquid gold right here in my hand, everybody.
Absolutely. If you are watching our video stream today, we've kind of been adjusting things as we go. It's been a little bit of a fly by the seat of our pants morning. Typically, if you're a regular viewer of our show, typically I'm in the studio and Jacob is usually at his home studio. Sometimes we both might be in our home studio. When you fill in, you're here. Jacob's usually at home. It's very rare that two people are in the studio at the same time. You and I are sitting next to each other. Yes. And so we've been trying to figure out how do we get our cameras working on our video stream. It's one thing to do a radio show sitting next to each other where nobody can see you. we're trying to position cameras. Jad's like working in the background to try to figure out where things need to go. It's been a little wild here this morning.
Yeah, but being in studio with somebody is always a lot of fun because you can get their reactions, you can look them in the eye, you can have all kinds of fun. I mean, I like it. I'll be real. I miss those days. There was a day where all of us went to the studio. You're old enough for that too.
I remember
but
that.
But you know, in essence, though, I guess it's really smart the way it can be worked. You know, you can do a radio show from anywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. You can do the show.
It's been really nice to have that kind of flexibility because like I was kind of a last minute decision about whether or not I was going to sit next to you this morning or if I was going to be in my home studio. I've got 2 little boys. I've got a 3-year-old and a 1.5-year-old. And the 1.5-year-old had to get his checkup and some shots, and it was going to be at 8:15, and the doctor's office is right around the corner. So my wife needed me to watch the 3-year-old while she went to go get the shots. And the conversation was, okay, she says, I might be back in time. If I'm back in time, then you can go to the studio. If I'm not back in time, then you'll need to do the show from home. So I was like waiting, is she going to get home in time? She did. She pulled in the driveway, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to the studio. So I get here with about 10 minutes to spare before we go live. So that flexibility is nice.
Yeah.
To be able to have a home studio set up if you need to.
But I'm glad you're here.
Oh, thank you, Paul.
Well,
it's good to see
enjoy
you.
it. Good to see you too. We don't see enough of each other. Come on, and the fact is, I'm just very proud that I'm going to be able to give you an Hawaiian shirt.
Well, I appreciate that. We will. I don't know the next time that I'll be on a show. You know what? I'll be on a show this coming Wednesday, so maybe I'll have to join into the Hawaiian shirt regalia for the show this coming Wednesday.
You got to. I'll get you a shirt before then.
Let's talk about Colorado, Paul, before we wrap up hour number 1. Year 2 of the Coach Prime era kicks off last night. Still the same amount of hype, I feel like, from a season ago for the Buffaloes as they take on North Dakota State. It was a fairly tight victory for Colorado. They get a 5-point win. They did not cover the spread. North Dakota State did. I mentioned that yesterday. I thought that Colorado would probably win the game. It'd be tough for even a program as highly touted in FCS as North Dakota State to beat Colorado. But I certainly was concerned about that spread. I thought that Colorado would have a hard time covering, and North Dakota State, they lost by 5. They covered the number. What were your big takeaways from year number 2, the first game in Coach Prime's era?
Well, my first takeaway was North Dakota State's a really good football team. FCS, I don't care. We said earlier in the show, if you're just now tuning in, listen, North Dakota State's good enough. They'd be in the middle of the pack in the Big 12. That's how good they are. They're a real deal. And I'm just saying right now, not knowing anything else about FCS football teams, they've got to be one of the favorites to win the national championship, just watching what you watched last night. Now, with that being said, Tommy, I'm going to make a statement. You can make fun of me. You can laugh at me. You can do whatever you want to do at my expense. But I saw where I think I may have a clue as to the number 1 receiver taken in the draft and the number 1 quarterback taken in the draft. Am I crazy? Travis Hunter at Colorado. How fast is that guy? How well does that guy run? How well does he catch the ball? Shakir Sanders. How well does he buy time? How well does he get the ball down the field? How well does he see the field? I'm telling you right now, both those guys are NFL guys. And at least that's what I think. Now, size-wise, we'll see. I both of them, I think, are a little on the smaller side. But with that being said, man, those guys were difference makers. And Colorado had over 400 yards of offense. And I mean, and against a team as good as North Dakota State, something, Colorado, are we overlooking Colorado for the Big 12?
No.
Are we overlooking them a little?
Not a chance.
You don't think so?
No, I'm not high on Colorado at all. I mean, they struggled with North Dakota State. And don't get me wrong. I know North Dakota State is
that
a powerhouse.
Good. They're good.
Yeah, but it's a different level of football. And we've seen FCS teams beat FBS teams. That's happened. It's happened to both Kansas and Kansas State. Like that sort of thing has happened before. So when I say a different level of football, that's no disrespect intended.
All right, I got you.
To FCS or North Dakota State. But Colorado should have absolutely dominated this game. They should have won by 2 touchdowns. I think. Well, if the hype is real, and I don't think the hype is real, by the way, but everything that has transpired with this program, they have really, really, really exciting and dynamic talent at the very top of their roster. You mentioned Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. 100%. I'm not going to take anything away from them whatsoever. But that's it. I mean, they're kind of top heavy. I feel like there's been such a roster overhaul in year number 2 for Coach Prime. I feel like we're going to see the bottom fall out of this program pretty quickly. I don't think that we're overlooking them at all in the Big 12.
I think you might see the roof raised. And here's why I'm going to say that is because you're exactly right. I was going to bring up the point that this was basically the first game played together by this group because what was it, 60 plus? I'm not sure the exact number, but I think it was over 60 transfers out from the portal into the University of Colorado. That's a lot of players. That's a lot of turnover. That's basically a new football team, Tommy. It's a new football.
But tell me, Paul.
Go ahead.
Tell me something that is tangible outside of Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders that this team has.
Speed.
Outside of those guys,
no,
they're fast.
No. Colorado is fast.
Okay.
That whole did you not think that they ran really well? I mean, from top to bottom. I mean, not just those two guys, but I'm talking about other receivers, defensive players, defensive backs, corners, safeties. Even the line. It looked like everybody ran well on that team. So with that being said, but what I'm saying is that probably, Tommy, I'm putting a little more stock in North Dakota State than you are. And the fact is, you just hit on a big thing, and that is that this team just played its first game together as if, they've never played anything. It's not even like you came in as a freshman, didn't play much, but you're still on the team. These are all guys that didn't know each other, 6 months ago?
Yeah.
And now they're teammates.
Don't you think that's an issue? It's the reality of the situation. North Dakota State, for a large portion of that game, they looked like the bully. And Colorado looked like the bullied team, right?
You're right.
And
they are physical.
North Dakota State, by the way, so many of their players are 3rd and 4th year guys, been on that roster for a long time. They've built a foundation. And I don't see that with Colorado. Had it not been for the top heavy team, had it not been for Hunter and Sanders, Colorado would have lost that game.
Well, more than likely, but they had them. But the point is that, we'll just see how good a job Dion does. Because does he blend this team? Now they've got a game, and a game that was a good opponent. Now they got that under their belt. I think that Colorado is going to win some games. Now, do they win the Big 12 and go to the Final 12? No, probably not. I think I still would put my money on Utah from what I know. But with that being said, I'm just telling you, they're going to win some games, and I think they're going to have a good season. And I think if they can get this team to stay together, come on, stay out of the portal a little bit, Dion. Stay out of the portal.
I think you're wrong. I think it's all style and no substance for the Buffaloes. I think it's all hype. It's a figment of imagination. It's kind of like the emperor has no clothes. I believe that right now. And look,
creation of the media, is that what 100%, you're saying?
It's all hype. It's all style and no substance. Bottom line, the Buffaloes have not beaten an FBS opponent since last October. It's been almost a year since they actually beat an FBS opponent, but yet everybody's still talking about them and considering them. It doesn't make any sense at all.
They struggled at the end of the season.
They struggled last night too. They got the win. They did not cover the number, and I think that's going to be a sign of things to come for Coach Prime and this Buffaloes program as the season progresses. By the way, our buddy Jason on our video stream says he loves seeing both of us in studio, and now we just need to get a camera on Jad. So that's going to be our next. That's going to be our next project, is to get a camera on Jad. So when he jumps in and is on the show, we can include him.
Our listenership is going to go up on the female side. If we get Jad on camera, think of how many more women are going to tune into this show.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Jad is a chick magnet.
There's no doubt. That's the first thing I think of when I see Jad. I see Jad and I think chick magnet automatically. We'll have to do that next project as we get going. That is going to wrap up hour number 1 here on Sports Daily. On the other side, as we kick off hour number 2, it's our very first Friday football picks of the season. Jacob Albrecht will join us, as will Brandon Zinner and TJ Cleveland from 12 News. We will give you our picks for this weekend slate of games. That's on the way next on Sports Daily.
Calling Huck's Power Washing is like getting to the top of Mount Everest with only a bag of beef jerky and a soda. Huck's can conquer all residential or commercial exterior cleaning woes that you have, leaving you feeling like you're on top of the world. House washing, window cleaning, driveway washing, to even graffiti removal. Coming this fall, we'll offer professional holiday lights installation. We love muck and gunk. You don't. Let Huck's handle it. Call for a quote today.
Right. Start your day with 12 News this morning. Get ready with Jake's accurate hour-by-hour forecast, so you'll know if you need a jacket when you walk out the door, or an umbrella by lunch. Start your day knowing what happened overnight and what's happening now. Live, breaking news all morning long. And plan the best route to work and school with traffic from across Kansas. Start your day right. Start your day with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSEW.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into the Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
At 12 News, we know you're busy, which is why we're here whenever you need us. Anytime, any screen. With live breaking news.
Critically hurt after an apartment.
Storm Team 12 forecast.
Snowing for many miles.
And the stories you don't want to miss.
The scene's still very active.
Just
right
search KWCH 12 News wherever you stream and catch up on the latest news of the day. All for free and on your schedule, hopefully making your day a little bit easier. And did I mention the Storm Team 12 forecast? 12 News whenever you want.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Determining fact from fiction. That's our full-time job.
You need to have someone give you the whole story from every side.
To help you when no one else is listening.
You need someone to put you first.
That's what we do.
We bring you the facts first.
When you need it.
Wherever you are.
12 News. Facts first.